Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Omni viewer, and welcome back to Non-Moving Pictures, where we examine movie posters as art. Today, we're going back to the Godzilla franchise to examine the poster for Shin Godzilla. In particular, we'll be looking at both the Japanese and American versions of this particular poster. You'll see why soon enough.
Although there were a couple other movie posters released for Shin Godzilla, this is the one which most people associate with it. As well they should, because it really says a lot about the tone the movie is going for. It provides us with a nice close-up of Shin Godzilla's hideous mug, and it creates an overwhelming sense of danger in how it uses color. I've mentioned in other episodes of this series the use of negative space, which can either refer to an area in an image where there is nothing, or using dark colors which contrast sharply with the brighter colors in the image. Now, every other poster we've looked at so far in which I've discussed negative space has usually gone the route of having a dark or sometimes just plain black background and having the subject of the image be brightly colored. The most notable example would be what we saw with Jurassic Park, a poster which was entirely black save for the logo in the center, which was yellow, red, and white. However, the Shin Godzilla poster does the inverse of this. Here, the background is the brightly colored part, shining a very vibrant shade of red, whereas Shin Godzilla himself is monochrome. Superimposed over the red is a stark black and white image, with shadows just light enough for us to make out detail, but heavy enough to create a sense of foreboding. This profile gives us a very clear look at our eponymous monster, and boy is he nasty looking. It's small wonder this poster is the one that became the most famous. It works so well, in fact, that it's the one Funimation decided to use for that limited theatrical run. However, when they brought it over, they made one slight change. It's a very subtle change, and yet at the same time it's very significant. And no, I'm not just talking about changing the text from Japanese to English. Here is the American poster. Can you see what's different? Well, in case you can't, I'm going to point it out anyway. I'm going to do the transition again, but this time, pay attention to this section of Shin Godzilla's face. Did you see it this time? A shadow has been placed over Shin Godzilla's eye for the American poster. Now, why was this done? That's a good question. I ultimately don't have any definitive answer as to why it was done. If I had to guess, someone in Funimation's marketing department thought that Shin Godzilla's disproportionately small eye looked kind of silly, and thus added this extra shadow in order to keep people from getting the wrong idea. Now, we can discuss what works and doesn't work about Shin Godzilla's design another day. Right now, we're just talking about what works for the movie poster. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I think that placing a shadow over Shin Godzilla's eye for the American poster was a mistake. Think about it. With this American poster, we can't see Shin Godzilla's eye, therefore we don't know which direction he's looking. We would likely assume he's looking the same way his face is pointing. If we didn't know anything about the original poster, of course. But when we look at the original poster, we can tell which way he's looking. And he's not looking straight ahead. He's looking at us. Imagine seeing this poster really big in a theater, displayed properly on the wall. If you were to stare directly in front of it and look up, Shin Godzilla's eye would be looking right back at you. This creates a personal connection. After all, this is a nasty looking monster, and he's staring at you. Thus, we can discern a lot about Shin Godzilla's intentions. This is a creature that is out to kill you. And ultimately, that's a far more effective image than the American one. Now, true, when all is said and done, it's still basically the same image. But I'm pointing this out to emphasize that the little details really do matter. What might seem as insignificant as a strategically placed shadow can completely change the intent of a movie poster. Heck, of any image you want. And these two different variations of Shin Godzilla's movie poster provide an excellent example of what I mean by that.
All of that said though, it's still the same image either way, reminding us that it was only in a limited theatrical release nowhere near where I lived, and I'm still really miffed about that. But I'll get over it. The movie's on DVD by now anyway. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer, signing off. Next time we enter the realm of superheroes. But that's actually too vague of a hint, so I'll narrow it down to DC superheroes. Feel free to guess which one in the comments below.